Hello everyone, Burger Brush here, and today we're going to go over the budget version of the fake HeadHunter build using 2 inspired learning jewels. I want to start off this video by saying I got this idea from Don the Crown over at his YouTube last league when he made a video about the fake HeadHunter build. I saw this video and I was like, wait a minute, this actually looked like it can be like somewhat cheap, and it does look like you're having all the fun of the HeadHunter build without having to invest so much money into the HeadHunter. So I saw the video from last league and I thought to myself, what if you could implement that this league? Because the inspired learnings at the time was pretty low on price actually, and I was like, what if you can do this but even more budget? What if you don't get some of the items that he has that currently are a little bit more expensive, and what if you only invest like 10 exalts and maybe the build can actually be pretty good perhaps? So big shout out to Don the Crown, and go check out his YouTube video if you haven't already. That's where I got all the inspiration for doing this video and doing this guide for. So go check him out and show him some love, and let's get straight into it with this whole build and how I made this happen. Now, one thing that I want to make very clear is that this build is not very strong on its own, and it relies very much off of like what most HeadHunter or Inspired Learning Jewels builds kind of go from, is stealing buffs from rare mobs, right? So the way that I've been playing this character so far is that I've been farming dunes with the Legion monoliths. I add 1 or 2 Legion monoliths with a scarab and then adding it through the map device. And I get some buffs, and once you got some buffs going, you just open up one of the Legion monoliths, you kill all the rare mobs within the Legion monolith. And the good thing about Legion monoliths is that you gain all the buffs from killing them one time when they're in stasis. Then once they're out of the stasis, you can kill them again and get double the amount of buffs. And if you have 2 Legion monoliths in your map, this means that your character will get absolutely massive and you will just annihilate the entire maps within a minute basically. So Legion monoliths is a really great way for this character, or any way that you can kill a lot of rare mobs very fast. And dunes have been absolutely fantastic for me for farming. So that's one thing I want to say first of all. As you can see here in this footage, that my character is just going rampage in this entire map. With the 10 exalt investment that I've invested only in this character, and it's just absolutely smashing. Now, as I've already said, I got this idea from watching Don the Crown's video, and I was like, there's so many people out there who never get the chance to really farm for HeadHunter or drop one. They're very expensive, they can be very hard to get. There's a lot of people who play this game who just don't have the time to invest that kind of time or engagement into the game overall, and they don't really know how to make that much money. So I was thinking, like, what if I can just make like a budget version of Don's build that he made, and what if I can make it like maybe 10 exalts max and see if it's actually playable and like actually fun. And so the other day on stream, I spent a lot of time during the day just like gathering items, seeing how much does this item cost, and we wrote everything down, and I'm going to show you the notepad soon, and the video to that whole segment from my Twitch stream as well will be in the description, so you can see kind of that it's for real, that I actually went and I bought each item for each price and everything that we have written down. And yeah, I mean, like, we actually did it. I managed to get this whole build for basically 9.7 or 9.8 exalts altogether at the time of making this video, when exalts were about 85 chaos each. That was a couple of days ago. And yeah, I mean, like, we did it. We have the whole build, and I've been farming Legion monoliths now in dunes for like 2-3 days, and I'm actually making a good amount of money doing it while just having so much fun and just slamming XP on this character as well. We started out around level 76, 77 or something, and now we're at 93, and we're just pumping XP as well. And right now we're going to go over the gear a little bit, and I'm going to show you the notepad and how much everything costs and all that stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about the build, and I will also do a follow-up video to this where I actually invest a little bit more money. So this is going to be a little bit of a YouTube series where I do, you know, part 1, we invested 10x. This is how strong it is, you can farm this and that. Part 2, we invest a little bit more, you know, go for a better weapon, for example, or some other gear. and we see how much stronger can we make it now and all that stuff. But yeah, we're gonna start off here with part 1, 10 exalts. So we're gonna talk a little bit about like what Don talked about his video, is that the one thing that you very much need is you need to play an occultist for the self curse with the shackles of the wretched and the temporal chains. I'm not going to go into detail exactly all that stuff. You can watch Don's video if you want to learn more about how the mechanics work. But yeah, one thing that we actually absolutely have to went for was a lot of medium cluster jewels with dark discourse and just the effect of curses. Now, one thing I'm going to say is that this got nerfed from last league, and from what Don had in his video, the medium cluster jewels now only give 3% increased effect of your curses instead of up to 6. It's now 3 maximum, and therefore, if I'm not mistaken, the 25% increased effect that I actually have on this jewel here, for example, is actually rendered useless. This doesn't do anything for us. If we had 4% increased effect of your curses, then this would add 1 more. But since it's only 3%, the increased effect, 25%, does nothing. So you don't have to bother with this one if I'm not mistaken. But what I went for is at least 1 Dark Discourse, because 10% increased effect, and just a 6 passive so we can get a lot of these smaller ones. Now, as I was doing this in a budget version, I spent 5 Chaos each on medium cluster jewels, and we got Dark Discourse here with some, you know, smaller curse effect ones and even some rest, so that was really lucky. But on this one we have Lord of Drought, which is not an ideal thing. It does not give us any curse effect at all, and it actually just removes one of our skill points. Actually, I don't know why I actually have this in, like, why do I have this? This doesn't do anything for me. I don't even use flammability. It gives me a little bit out of effect, but like whatever, I'm just not going to use that actually. But yeah, then we have Dark Discourse and, you know, 3% increased effect of curses, and then we just have some whatever jewels that we're going to talk about later. Over here, once again, Dark Discourse and the smaller nodes. Victim Maker, no, not going for that one, doesn't do anything for us. I can now put this one in here instead. Nice, 3% increase effect of your curses. So I spent 5 Chaos on all of these jewels. You know, you rather want to have something like this where it's only Dark Discourse and nothing else. If you want to go for this budget version, you want to go for these. You do not want to have stuff like Victim Maker, and I don't want to have Lord of Drought because I just don't have flammability. I didn't have the money for it, right? But that's one of the most important things. The second most important thing that I would say is to have 2020 Temporal Chains and 2020 Hex Touch in your Shackle Gloves. I've also put in an Enhanced level 3, so we actually gain more quality on our Temporal Chains, which gives us more effect of our curse, as you can see here, 18%. And the same thing goes for the Hex Touch that we use, 10% increased effect of supported curses. So we basically want to increase the effect of our Temporal Chains, because the stronger our Temporal Chains is, the longer we will have all our buffs up. And another thing that also went for is a 30% increased Temporal Chains curse effect helmet. And we're going to talk about this helmet soon as well. But yeah, that's basically what the build is about. Those double inspired learnings, and then you're just smashing right. So yeah, I invested about 5 Chaos each in those. I went for elemental damage. You can go for physical damage as well, as Don did in his character. I went for just large cluster jewels with whatever, like Widespread is cool, Prismatic is cool, gives you some damage AoE and some resists. I think I went for the same thing here. I went for fire here though, which also kind of works because we will be converting all our damage to fire. The large cluster jewels cost me about 20 Chaos each. The inspired learnings, I have corrupted ones because I bought the strategist cards for 18 Chaos each. You need 6 of those cards, and then you will get a corrupted inspired learning, so you can get like even corrupted blood if you're really lucky, and whatever. But yeah, I have overwhelmed physical damage reduction, and I have increased effect of non-damaging ailments. Nothing really specific. I just turn in those cards, and this is what I got right. We then have a Watcher's Eye jewel with physical damage converted to fire, because we want to convert as much as we can. It's basically all the things that Don uses his video, basically, right? Then obviously Shackles of the Wretched cost me 1 Chaos, Combs Root cost me another 1 Chaos. I do believe I spent 60 Chaos on the Circle of Anguish, and 30 chaos in this ruby ring, which now actually has been rendered pretty useless because I bought this because I was very low on resists early on, but then as the build went on, we actually realized that, like, wait a minute, I have so much resists here. So one option that I have right now, since I've only spent 9.7 and 9.8 exiles on this character, I could buy a flammability ring with nothing else on it. No life, no resists. That would cost me about 5 chaos. That would give me some juicy damage. And it also give me, you know, flammability, so I maybe actually could, like, use this for something. But I haven't really done it yet. I'm still just rolling with this ring, and I will see what I do later. Another thing else I could do is buy another Circle of Anguish, but, you know, you want a pretty good one. For this one, since I did spend 60 chaos on it, it has Herald of Ash reduced mana reservation and Herald of Ash increased buff effect. I would probably go for something similar on the other one, at least like with the buff effect and then like whatever, but yeah, we'll see where I end up, you know, taking this build once I go to part 2. Then Solstice Vigil, I think it's going for like 5 chaos, the one that I bought. It could be like 5 to 10 chaos right now. Nothing too special, but Solstice Vigil is very important for this build because it gives Temple Chains reduced mana reservation as an aura. And then it gives Shaper's Presence, which also like makes our buffs last longer and all this stuff. So yeah, 5 chaos for this one. 1, 20, 30, whatever I said, 60. The 6-link recurve bow cost me about 45 chaos, and then I used 2 essences of woe, and I got this one, and it was just good enough. We're not going for anything really crazy or specific here. Just 45 chaos for the 6-link recurve bow, and there's slap essence of woe until you get something good, and just go with it, right? It's nothing special here, and we're not going to spend too much money on that. Signal Fire Quiver, gain 32% of physical damage, extra fire, big damage, and we also convert once again. This is exactly what we want and what we're going for because of the conversion is and physical is extra fire. Cost me 28 chaos if I'm not mistaken. And then we have an explode chest. Now, I was very lucky with this explode chest because I was just looking for any explode chest at all. They were going from everything from 60 chaos up to 1 exalt, right, which is basically 85 chaos. I was looking at different ones. One had a little bit of life, one had some resists, whatever. And then I bought this one. I was like, okay, this one is decent, I guess, you know. And then I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute. It has double resists, which is why I bought it, and just explode, which is the only thing that we actually care about. But then I was like, it has an open suffix, so I can just add another resist. So I think this was a little bit of a steal. This one could definitely be worth more than 1x, but I did buy it for 1x, so it was a little bit of a steal, but I was very lucky as well. But what you're going for on the chest is mainly enemies you kill explode, dealing 3% of their life as physical damage. You don't care about anything else. Just buy a chest with explode, and that's like the main thing that we want here. So you can see no life, nothing else like that. Like, we don't really care about that. It's mainly the explode, right? On the helmet, 30% increased Temple Chains curse effect. This is the main thing that you're going for. The base of the helmet doesn't matter as long as you can wear it. If it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. This is a bone helmet, for God's sake. Like, I don't care about the minion stuff. It's not important. That 30% increased Temple Chains curse effect, that is important. I then used some essences, the strength essences, because I was lacking strength in my build. And I was lucky enough to get good strength, good life, and I also got some resist as well. So, you know, I just got lucky with a couple of essences there, and turned out to be a pretty good helmet. And then for the belt, I have just chosen a life resist belt in this situation because, as I said, we were struggling with resists, but then we ended up being like, wait a minute, we have too much resist, right? You can change this for the belt that Don uses in his build, the Bisco's Leash, if you want to. Otherwise, I mean, like, if you at some point get a HeadHunter, I could just slap it right in here. Like, look at my resists, they're fine. Like, I could just slap a HeadHunter in here at any given time if I want to. But I don't have one, and I'm not going to farm one either. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, those are the items that I've gone for. Then I Murder's Idol with Life and Onslaught. We're going to show you guys the prices, everything later. And yeah, that's basically my gear. Like, it's nothing special. You just need Shackles of the Wretched, you need the Combs Roots, you need the Temple Chains helmet, Solstice Vigil, Explode Chest, And then Circle of Anguish ring is really nice, single fire and a good bow, you know, with some spell damage and all that stuff will work out fantastic. And the very important things are the medium cluster jewels as well, and Inspired Learnings obviously. And yeah, also the Watcher's Eye, right? So those are like the main important things that you gotta get. Now, I haven't even done my Uber Lab, and I'm like smashing tier 15s, tier 16s with Legion, as I said. And this will just give me more damage and more AoE. And I don't really have like the best gear. You can go for more curse effects. You can hit the 2.75 as Don talks about in this video. You can go for like double Circle of Anguish rings. You know, you can go for more life and more damage. Like this bow here is garbage. You want a plus level gem bow, right? And you know, plus level support gems. I don't have quality on my gems either yet. I haven't really fixed that. So yeah, it still works like just fantastically, and I'm gonna get Uber Lab and I'm gonna invest a little bit more, and I'm gonna see where I can take this build. Currently, it can do like tier 15, tier 16 is pretty good. Bosses is hard unless you have a lot of buffs up. Delirium can be done, but you need some buffs as well before you start your Delirium, or if you do 20% Delirious map, you need some buffs before you take on some of the heavier packs. But it works fine for just absolutely everything I've done so far. In my 6-link setup though, I used Blade Vortex, added fire damage, unleash, control destruction, inspiration, and combustion. Dawn uses some different gems, but this is like personal preference for me. If you want to use what Dawn used in his video, that's absolutely fine. He has more damage than I do. This is just personal preference for me. Then Herald of Thunder, Enhance, Hex Touch, and Temporal Chains. I think he also uses Flame Dash in here, which is better, but I figured this kind of works as well. Then Herald of Ash, Enlighten, Anger, and Vol Grace. Because you have Vol Gems up for so long because of like the duration and, you know, the flasks and all that stuff. Like, just having a bunch of Vol skills is fantastic. Dash, Second Wind, Temporal Chains, Blasphemy. This was actually hinted to me by one of my viewers that you should use this defensively, because you can. Even if you have Hex Touch and Herald and Temporal Chains here, we still get cursed with Temporal Chains from this setup, and we can still curse enemies with like this Blasphemy Temporal Chains aura as well to slow them down, which is fantastic defensively. Arcane Cloak, I'm using this on left click as a defensive button. I really wanted to have one red socket in here so I could put like Steel Skin, or I could put Immortal Call, but it's too expensive for me, so I won't really have a red one in here, but otherwise that would be fantastic. So I don't have to use Arcane Cloak, which basically does nothing for us. And then yeah, Righteous Fire for that, you know, juicy like Vol Righteous Fire damage. Flasks, Serious Promise, Wise Oak, just movement speed, and Diamond Flask, and bleed an instant here. Nothing really specific, as I said. Yeah, I mean, like, that's basically it. That's the character, and it can do so much, and it's so much fun. Now, as I told you, we were gonna look at the prices and everything, and I have them right here. If I go put on my screen capture, we have everything here. I wrote it down in a notepad because I'm a Pepega. You know, I'm not one of those cool big boys who use all these fancy Excel, which isn't really a fancy program, but I don't know. I just couldn't bother actually. Yeah, as you can see here, the Combs Roots 1 Chaos, Shackles 1 Chaos, Solstice Vigil, and Anoint 10. Double large cluster 20 each, that's 40. Medium clusters, 5 of them for 4 of them for 5 chaos each, 20 chaos. 12 strategist cards because we want double Inspired Learning, 18 chaos each at the time of making this video, or actually buying the gear, which was like, when was that? On Monday or Tuesday. So like February 1st or February 2nd is when I bought this gear. I'm not sure, you know, obviously prices go up and down. After making this video, the prices could go up, it could stay the same. Exiles go up and down as well, so, you know, take that at its value of what it is here, that like I bought this at that current time, and that's how I could afford it all for 10 Exiles. Temporal Chains, Curse Effect Helmet, that was 1x for the base, as I said. Anger, Physical to Fire Convert, Watcher's Eye, 50. Circle of Anguish ring, 60. The other Resist ring that's now useless, I didn't even need to buy this, 30. The belt cost me 20, Abyss Jewel cost me 10. The explode chest cost me 1x. As I said, this was a little bit of a steal. Signal fire quiver 28, temple chains 20, 35. You could level this yourself, but it is very important to have this as well because it will make your character much stronger. And the same thing goes for the hex touch as well. It will make your character stronger because we want buff effect, because we want the buffs to last, curse effect, because we want the buffs to last longer, which will make our character stronger and more fun to play. Then, you know, as I said, I used a bunch of essences for crafting different things. Enlighten level 3 as well with the Anger and Herald of Ash. 6-link recurve bow, the base 6-link, 3 white sockets cost me 45 chaos, enhanced level 3 for this setup here, 10 chaos. Corrupted blood jewel, 5 chaos, life jewels 15 and flasks 5. Now, the corrupted blood jewel I think is very important. I have it here, right? You don't care what you get on this. You just need to have corrupted blood. Like, I was struggling so hard. When you get so much buffs and your character is going at 1,000,000 miles per hour, if you have 20 stacks of corrupted blood, which is very easy because you just explode screens, you die very fast. So get a corrupted blood for the love of God. Don't die too much, which I was doing early on. This cost me 5 chaos. It has nothing. I don't need a fire res. It doesn't matter. I literally got this one because it had area damage, but like all the corrupted bloods that I could find was like 5 to 10 chaos. Just buy any of them. Like you just need corrupted blood, okay? And then what I also went for is life and whatever. Like I just got some life ones. Like this is bad. I don't need a fire S. The crit multi doesn't work because I'm pretty sure Blade Vortex doesn't really count as a fire skill. It doesn't, so that one is useless. Fire rest I don't need, reduce mana cost of skills, whatever. So this is just 6% life at this point. Same here, 7% life, resists, but I don't need a resist, right? We already saw that, so this is also useless. And I don't even have anything in here yet, so yeah, like, pick up any jewels that you want really, with life or resist if you need that, what the hell, like, fucking, I don't care. It doesn't really do much for me, and since this is a budget version, I'm not going to spend like 40 chaos each on like some good crit multi-jewels with whatever, you know. But yeah, that's basically it, and the character is super much fun. Now, I will be streaming more of this character, and I will be putting some more investment into it. I will put 5 Exiles more. I think we're going for a better bow. We might upgrade our medium class jewels to make them a little bit better overall, instead of having Victim Maker and like Lord of Drought. And I will be upgrading this ring. So I will be putting 5 Exiles more into this character in the future, and I will make another video showcasing how strong it is and what gear we got. And then after that I will make part 3 as well, where I invest even more again. Like we go up to 20 Exiles. We get like a really good class of jewels, and we get, you know, a really good belt or something like that, like a really nice ring, or I don't really know where I'm gonna take it more, maybe really nice jewels or something like that. We'll have to see like where I go for, but with the 5x more than I'm gonna invest, I do believe that we can get a much better bow, and I do believe we can get a nice second Circle of Anguish ring and some better medium class jewels to make it even stronger, you know. But yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you haven't, go to Don the Crown's Twitch or his YouTube. Show him some love. This whole idea is from him, and he's an absolutely fantastic streamer and makes great videos on YouTube as well. I got this whole idea from him, and his character was absolutely smashing last league, and as you can see here, it's still very playable even on a budget. So thank you very much for that, everyone, for watching. I'll see you around. Also, feel free to go over to my Twitch over at twitch.tv/burgerbrush, where I stream as well, and drop the follow there, and you know, drop the subscribe here on YouTube or whatever, and yeah, I'll see you around.